So Toby and I are out in the garden this morning and we're both really upset. Even though we sprayed and we put diatomaceous earth again, there are more holes in the tomatoes. Toby picked one, it's got a couple holes in it here, and I found several more little tiny armyworm larvae on my tomatoes. And look what I found, more holes in the tomato. So I've been out here scouting for the culprit and I can't find him. There's one back there that's got a big hole in it. Y'all can see right there. Obviously these are gonna have to come off the vine. So I don't know, Toby and I just picked these off and I'm starting to think, I don't know, these don't look like wormholes. These are starting to look like bird pecks. I don't know if maybe the birds are like pecking at the tomatoes, trying to get the worm larvae up. Toby and I did pick off 3 little tiny of those fruit worm larvae and I did not see any big ones. So maybe this is just birds. If that's the case, I'm gonna have to figure out how to keep the birds off my tomatoes. At least someone's enjoying the green tomato. We'll have to figure out something to do with these green tomatoes. You wanna fry them up? Fry them up later. We've got 3 more. You got it? You got it under control, Toby? You gonna feed the chickens? It's gonna end up all over the ground. He's insistent about not having help. Let's go feed Belina, sweetheart. Come on, then go feed the chicken. It's just been a crazy battle this year with tomatoes. Like, I feel like I can't get forward. It's like one step forward, then something else happens. So I've decided that if it is birds pecking, and if it is because they're pecking little worm larvae, I'm gonna put, I think, burlap. I'm gonna make like kind of like a covering of burlap around the tomatoes and see if that helps. Toby, are they bad birds? Are they bad birds?
Bad.
Yep. Bad birds eating our tomatoes.
Bad.
So that's the solution right now. Putting the pumpkin head out in the garden right near the tomatoes. Hopefully that will solve the trick and I won't have to divert to covering all these tomatoes with burlap or some type of row covering. So Toby and I put this jack-o'-lantern scarecrow out yesterday, which we usually have out for Halloween, in my attempts to keep the birds, look at that butterfly, away from picking at the tomatoes. And I noticed this morning that we still have some peck marks. It's either peck marks or it's from caterpillars. I think it's peck marks. It's gotten worse since this morning. There's one here that's just torn apart to shreds. I don't see no larvae on it. And I did see several mocking jays sitting right here and literally swooping down in this area. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. I think it's wartime. I'm just literally gonna have to cover all these tomatoes here. So I have noticed since we put the scarecrow up yesterday that there have been no more bird pecks in these beefsteaks along this line, and only in the creoles down there on the other side. So I obviously just took that off the vine because I don't want it to rot. That might be a wormhole from previous damage, but I don't see any more larvae on here. I don't see any more armyworms. So I really do think this is birds. Have any of y'all experienced this before? If you have, I'd really appreciate it below down in the comments. But I think we're gonna get some burlap up here in a few moments. So this is my experiment for right now. I'm putting the scarecrow on the end because this is where I've seen the mockingbird sitting and kind of like swooping down. I'm gonna leave these creoles on the end as kind of like a decoy. Kind of, if they're gonna peck at them, they're gonna peck at them here. And I covered up all these with some burlap that I had from my wedding. And so if it's a matter of just birds, we're gonna find out shortly, because they shouldn't be able to swoop down and peck at these with the burlap hanging over like this. So that's my experiment. We'll see if it's a matter of birds, worms, or potentially both. So I will keep you guys updated on how this is going. So right now I'm actually gonna cut inside of some of these fruits that Toby and I picked yesterday with the holes, just to kind of see if I can find any remnants of the worms or their poop or something. This one was literally just we picked from earlier. I'm just gonna cut inside of these and see if I can find anything. It looks pretty clean. I don't see anything. I really do think there's something there. I'm gonna try to cut into that again and see if I can find something. So I don't see any worms in here. I do see some brown stuff, but it's kind of like a scar. It's like really hard, kind of like a scabby thing. So I kind of wonder if that's just how the tomato formed on this one. So far I don't see anything. I'm gonna continue cutting on these other ones. I don't know, guys. This is just super frustrating. I can't tell if this is worm, like fruit worms, or just from birds. I do know there was a whole bunch of fruit worms on there, like y'all saw. So maybe I kind of got it control before it got too bad. I don't know. We're gonna find out here shortly.